Indeed tutorial, how to use Indeed for beginners. Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'll be showing you guys how you can get started with using Indeed as a beginner. Now, in today's tough market of trying to find a job, using as many online platforms as you can is the most efficient and effective way to find a job. Indeed allows you to find a position that is related to you, and you can find positions based on your current work experience, salaries, and browse all of the availabilities in your particular area. So let's get into it. Now, on Indeed specifically, you can go on ahead and access their international website and find jobs in your particular country. This will make sure that you are finding jobs that you can actually apply for and you can actually get, instead of having a huge plethora of jobs that you can't access. So to get started, simply head on over to Indeed.com and click on Sign In on the top right. Keep in mind that you also have the option to sign up as a employer. So if you're someone that is trying to find someone to hire, you can also find the hiring people. So you can find people you want to hire on Indeed as well. To get started, click on Sign In on the top right, and once you click on Sign In, you're going to create your Indeed account. For that, put in your email address and click on Continue. You can continue with your Google account or sign up with your password instead. Once you enter your email address, you have to choose how you want to create your account. So if you are a job seeker or a employer. So we are a job seeker. And then after that, we have to create a suitable password for our Indeed account. Once you do that, you can tick this box if you don't want to receive any marketing emails from Indeed and click on Create Account. Once you click on Create Account, that is all you have to do to get started. So once you have signed up completely, you have to confirm your email address via a mail. So open up your mailbox, whatever email address that you have used, and you will receive a confirmation email. So click on Confirm Your Indeed account to confirm that this is actually your account and this is not someone else, and then click on Continue. Once you do that, you can click on Get Started to make sure that you are able to find a particular country or a particular location. This is very important because if you're someone that is not willing to relocate for their job, you need to find jobs in your particular area. You also have the option to skip any questions from the top right. However, it's not something that I would recommend if you are someone that is looking for a physical job. Then click on Continue over here. Now, on the top, there is a minimum pay that you can be looking for. This is not something that employers can see, but is something that Indeed uses in its own algorithm to notify you of jobs that might be relevant to you. So let's say we're looking for at least, I'll do that 100 euros. And this is going to be per month. And this is just a very low amount because I want to show you guys as many jobs as possible on this Indeed account. So I'll click on Continue. Then you also have desired job titles. So if you have any professional work experience, you can insert the job titles that you've already had to get a frame of reference as to what type of jobs you should be looking for or you are looking for. For example, I'm looking for jobs as a psychologist and as a human resource manager, so human resource advisor, or HR, human resource coordinator, like this. Then I'll click on Continue over here, and if you don't have the answer to any of those questions, you can always click on Skip on the top right to be able to skip those questions. Once you do that, you're going to continue on and click on View Job Matches or View Your Job Preferences. We're going to click on View Job Matches over here, and Indeed would show us some of the current available jobs that would match our particular requirements. Now, once you have set up your account, there are a few different onboarding steps that I recommend you guys do. This includes uploading a CV, and I'll show you guys how to create the best CV possible. So on the top, you have the option of company reviews. So you will see all the different companies that have been reviewed on Indeed. This can help you in getting a better understanding of the salaries and the work environment of any company in your vicinity or that you could potentially be working from. Now, on the top, you also have the option to find a particular salary. So you can find a salary for the job title that you might have. For example, if I am looking to get hired as a human resource coordinator and I'm looking for the salary for that in Canada or in any location, you can just select a location, Canada, and I'll click on search over here. And you'll be able to see the average salary of that position. So you guys can see for a human resource coordinator, in Ireland, specifically in Ireland, because these pay scales will vary depending on where you are located. The average salary is around 36,000 euros per year. And if you scroll down, you will see any availabilities for that at the bottom. And then you also have top companies for human resources, as well as the highest paying cities for this particular job position. This can also help you in navigating your professional career into a direction that is more beneficial and more lucrative for you. You also have the option to see how much similar professions are getting paid. So, a human resource generalist, a manager, a business partner, a recruiter, what would be the salaries for those people? Now, after that, we're going to scroll back into the top and what we're going to do is we're going to complete our own profile setup. So on the top right, you have your basic inbox or messaging section. Then you have a notification section. Then you actually have your profile. So you want to click on my demographics over here to view your demographics. And you guys can see currently there isn't demographic data available for my country. So I can go directly into profile. And once you go into profile, you have two options. And this is honestly so much of a setup part rather than something that should be left to a optional part. If you don't do this, then it's really not important to browse through Indeed because having your resume on Indeed is what allows employers to seek you out or to even consider you if you are applying directly via Indeed. So you have two options to either upload a resume or build an Indeed resume. Now, if you want to build an Indeed resume, just click on Build Indeed Resume, and you will have a few different steps like this. So they will ask you questions and you can go on ahead and proceed with the appropriate answers. You can skip any answer if you don't want to give it. So you can just click on save and then you have your level of education, field of study, and educational questions. So let's say we're doing our bachelor's like this and then click on save and you can skip any question that is something that you don't want to answer. But I don't want to build my resume like this. You guys will see this is our Indeed resume. They have some basic resume info. You have your qualifications that you insert, your job preferences, and some job details which you might not be willing to comply with. So you can ask Indeed to hide those from you, as well as a ready to work section where you can let employers know that you're going to start as soon as they hire you because you don't need to take 2 weeks off of your previous job. Now, what I like to do in terms of building my resume is using a pre existing resume that I might have. A lot of us build our resumes when we're young and we don't realize how resumes are scanned through. So, to build an effective resume, first off, you don't need any fancy tools. That is the number one mistake that I have seen people do. They try to make it so stylized, which is something that everyone hates actually, because no one needs to know what you look like in your resume unless you're a model or you're in a field where your face is going to be a very big determinant of your job. If you're looking for an office job, the number one thing you want to do is not put in your own images. Secondly, you don't want to use those Canva templates with fancy lines and fancy stars and fancy designs. So I'll show you guys what I mean by those templates. We're going to head on over to Canva, and Canva has some great templates for resumes as well. So it's not like I'm saying not to use Canva. I'm just saying you need to be a bit careful as to how you're using it. So if I was to show you guys a bad example, this would be a bad example for a resume. It has a picture, it has these types of sections where they're stylized, and first off, they have the education listed above their professional, like right beside their professional experience, which is fine, but the professional experience needs to be reverse chronological. So you want to list your most recent experience on the top and then your older experiences. And the same goes for your education. Then your contact info does not need to be written in the bottom. You want to keep it at somewhere at the top. And then your achievements and top skills can be submerged into one. So, what are examples of a good resume? Well, this is an example of a good resume, and this template is available for free. Obviously, you are going to customize this to make it your own, but I'll show you guys how you can build, a good resume, or something like this is what makes a good resume. So what we're going to do is we are going to take one of their simple templates like this, and you will have a bunch of different options even in these simple templates to pick out from. So this is really not something that limits you. This just makes it easier for the people that are looking to find you to be able to find you. You're going to click on customize this template on a basic template like this. Now in this template, first off you have your name and then your contact info. I'm going to add our name, and then below that you have your contact info. So let's say I'm going to insert my email address like this, and then I'll remove any other info that is not applicable. If I'm not providing my address, I can just enter the city like this. And now below that, you have your basic summary in this particular template. Now, one thing to note is that unless you are customizing your resume or your CVs every time you are sending them out, you want to make sure not to write a specific job title as your main first section. So, a better way to do that would be to add your professional experience and then educational experience first. And I'll show you guys where you can actually use these templates. But click on Command C and then delete those. And then I'll move this section up, which is the professional experience, just like that. And then below that, I'm going to add our little job title and key competencies, and I'll delete the job title because I don't want to have to customize my resume every time I send it out. I'm going to just add my key competencies. And then after that, because I don't want my resume to be too long, I want to keep my education in the same section. So what I'm going to do is after the key competencies, we're going to have our education. I'm going to paste that in. And like this, we have listed our education right over here. I'll add a little bit of a space between everything, like so. Now, once I've done that, I can go on ahead and customize the overall appearance of this. Obviously, you're going to add your own info. And one thing I always tell people is whenever you are working in a job, even if you have no plans of quitting or changing your job, always write down any important major change that you brought about in your company. The reason for that is if you were someone that brought about change and you have some accomplishments in your business, it's very likely that 5 years down the lane, when you're trying to look for a new job, you're not going to remember those achievements or those changes you might made, and it's something that can slip your mind. So if you have all of those written down, you can add them in your accomplishments in your resume as you go. Let's say this is going to be Durden Co. And then I was a human resource advisor. And then you can add any type of basic day-to-day functionalities you performed. For example, let's say that in my current job, I am helping out to build policies for hiring and firing employees and working on the mental well being. So I want to describe it as it is. What are the key responsibilities that I was responsible for? Below that, you also have your accomplishments that you can insert, and after that, you're going to add your job before that. And if you have any gaps between your employment, so if you quit one job and it took you a while to find another, you have a 3 to 4 month gap, always address that gap in your CV. The reason for that is if you leave it unaddressed, you're going to have to answer the questions about that later on. But if it's already mentioned in your resume, it's very likely that your employer is not going to be as worried about that employment gap as an employer that doesn't know the reason why you took a gap. Even if you couldn't find a job, just add a work break or time to find a new job as the reason in your resume. That serves as a way better thing than to leave it up to the employer's imagination as to what you did during that time. Now, below that, you have your key competencies, which are going to be the skills or strengths that you have. One thing to note is you don't want to write your key competencies such as I work great with people. That is not a key competency or that is not a skill. Your skill set should be very specific, and when you are going to be asked in your interview about what you can do, usually they're going to take things that you wrote down as your strengths or as your skills or competencies, and they're going to ask you how you perform. And if you're not able to accurately back up your particular claim of your skills, that is going to be a bit difficult to come back from. So you guys can see in this template, we have financial reporting, negotiation, business development, operation management, all these basic items. So depending on what kind of industry you are in, your skill set will be different. In HR, for example, let's say some of my key competencies are employee motivation management, motivational programming, and anger resolution, conflict resolution. So I want to add those specific skill sets that I exhibited during my previous jobs in this particular section. And always make sure that if you have a story linked to a skill set, and if you're asked about that in your interview, to reply with that particular skill set. Now, once you have designed your CV, you can click on Share on the top right, click on Download, and download this as a PDF for your Indeed profile. So once you have downloaded this, you're gonna head over back to your Indeed account and click on Upload Resume. Once you click on Upload Resume, you can get started with finding so many different opportunities on Indeed. Now, how can you find these opportunities on Indeed? Well, once you have uploaded your resume, you're going to go back into your home section on Indeed. And in your home section, you have two sections. So you have a job feed and a recent search section. And on the job feed, you will see all of the jobs currently available. Now, you can search for a specific job title that you're looking for, or just a general keyword or company. Let's say, for example, I am looking for human resource related jobs. So I'll just search for human resources and I'll select a particular city and then I'll click on find jobs. Now, once I click on find jobs, on the left, it will give me different jobs that are hiring. So we have this human resource associate, we have a HR manager or executive, we have head of HR department with a gender requirement. And another thing to note is that some of these Indeed jobs, if you click on them on the right, you will get the details about that job. So this is the job info. There is a job description present, the basic responsibilities, requirements, as well as salaries, as well as shift details, notes, job type, and any other basic info. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that with these jobs, you can just click on apply now over here. And in certain jobs on Indeed, you have a easy apply option in which if you just go ahead and click on easily apply, you can click on apply now and send your resume directly from Indeed to this particular corporation or to this particular business. Now, I'll just scroll ahead and show you guys some examples of the jobs you can find. Let's say we have a supervisory administrative management specialist. So let's say I have this particular job over here, and we have the position, the experience, the maximum age, as well as the requirement, experience, education, and then we also have academic documentation that is required. So keep that in mind when you're applying. Skills and abilities, required documents, as well as all other info. Now we're going to click on apply now and we can go on ahead and apply for that, or you can even click on save to move this to your saved section. You can save a bunch of different jobs and then apply to them later on, and you will be able to, manage all of your jobs together. And on the top right, you also have this icon, which allows you to hide this job so it doesn't display this job to you if it's not relevant to you. Then on the top left, if we want to further strengthen our profile, we can go on the top and take a look at jobs within a certain pay scale with a job type, location, company, or language. So let's say I want to look for even a full-time job, but I'm looking for it to be let's say the job type, I'm looking for a part-time job like this, and you guys will see on the left, you will have different jobs available. So we have these job details. So we have the requirements for this job as well. So the salary, the schedule, as well as the different supplemental bonuses you might be receiving. Keep in mind that on Indeed, not all recruiters are going to tell you what they are going to be paying. Your pay is not something that is going to be told to you. So, whatever department you're looking for a job in, let's say I am looking for something in voice acting or voiceovers. So, I'll just search for voiceover and I can search for a particular location. I'm not going to search for anything else, and we're just going to add that a voiceover, and then I'll click on find jobs, and then it will take all of the particular jobs available for that particular designation. So we have the different types of jobs with different pay scales, video editors, and even if you search for one company or one particular keyword, you might find a very large variety of jobs available simply because one keyword can be applicable to many things. So make sure to keep that in mind whenever you are applying or looking to apply for a job. Now, this is just the basics of Indeed, and Indeed is just one opportunity provider to you. Although I do think it's a great opportunity provider, I always recommend that you try to look for a job on multiple different spaces. So, if I was looking for a job on Indeed, always try to double check that on maybe LinkedIn or any other platform to see if they have posted their job posting over there to find a good and accurate result of whether or not these jobs are, if these jobs are being offered on other platforms, what is the requirement over there? Have they listed the pay scales? And you might be able to find a couple of different, tidbits of info that can help you in getting hired. Plus, if you take a look at the other section where you have company reviews. So, one thing to note is that whenever you're joining a company, you can always look for the company reviews, and you also can search for salaries. So, you can search for your particular salary, but having a company review is really important because that is something that can help you in knowing what kind of environment you're going to be working in. You can take a look at the jobs provided by a specific company as well if you're only looking to work in that company. So if I only want to work in Nestle, then I can search for the jobs that Nestle has posted by clicking on the job section over here. And this will show me all the different types of jobs that this company is offering. And I can do this for any company if your goal is to get hired in one specific company. And you will see they have a sales associate, a area sales manager, a medical delegate. Now, if I want, I can go on ahead and search for more. And in your job feed, once you search a couple of times, it will actually show you different types of job opportunities that are available to you. And in your job feed, you can go on ahead and browse some of the hot jobs, or basically some of the jobs that are going to be very much applicable to you, as well as a generally good job available for you. Now, you have a bunch of different options in this, and you can go on ahead and scroll a little, and you will find that there are multiple different options available. Now, even if you're someone that is uncertain about their job title, one thing you always want to do is if you are uncertain about your job title. So I want to work in human resources, but my previous search did not give me any good results. Just search for the first term and see the suggestions that you get. So if I look at these suggestions, I can look for these suggestions like this and click on find jobs. And then I would have all of the information with a different job title. This will help you in getting a better idea of the different jobs that you can avail with Indeed. And if you're someone that is uncertain about what type of job title they should be looking for, this can be a great way to get a better estimate of what Indeed can and cannot provide you and what are the job opportunities available. Plus, if you ever are uncertain about Indeed, you can go ahead, go into your account, and if you're looking to close your account, you can go into settings, scroll to the bottom, and close your account from here. Then you even have some email settings, so you can choose to not receive any additional emails. You can also have employer and recruiter emails where you can get messages from employers and recruiters that are interested in your resume. So click on change over here, and it's suggested that if you're looking for a job to keep this turned on, that would allow the company or the hiring managers to be able to mail you and hire you. Below that, you have some additional emailing options that can help you in getting some career guidance, recommended jobs, application and account statuses. Then you have your device management as well as all of your privacy settings for any data that is collected on Indeed about you. So, in this way, you can get started with finding a job on Indeed. It's pretty simple and easy and can help you in making sure that you're able to offer your skill set in an effective way. Plus, if you're uncertain about your Indeed profile, you can log out and view your profile from a different browser to get a better idea. Plus, for job management, you can click on your profile, click on My Jobs, and this will show you any jobs that you have saved, any jobs that you have applied for, any interviews you went to, or any archived jobs which you didn't get. Then, after that, you also have a My Reviews section, and this allows you to manage what you have to say about other companies and employers' company pages. So, these won't be applied. Any of your reviews or feedback that you give about a company is not written down with your name and is not associated in any way with your resume or job applications. It's done completely separately, so you are able to honestly review any company without having the fear that it might, bite you back or end up being something that negatively impacts your career. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you are now able to get started with Indeed. If you did find this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions or queries about Indeed, about how to find a job, and so many of these other platforms that we now have to use to find a job, make sure to leave that in the comment box down below. I would love to know what you guys have to say. And if there's anything else you would like to learn specifically, if you want a tutorial on LinkedIn, or anything else, leave that in the comment box down below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.